Hello dear students, in this video I will solve the sample question paper 4 from Oswald's. The general instructions: this question paper contains 3 sections A, B and C. Each part is compulsory. Section A has 20 MCQs, attempt any 16 out of 20. Section B has 20 MCQs, attempt any 16 out of 20. Section C has 10 MCQs, attempt any 8 out of 10. There is no internal choice in any questions. All questions carry equal marks. First we have section A. In this section, attempt any 16 questions out of questions 1 to 20. Each question is of 1 mark weightage. First question, what is 99 mod 100? We have the various options. Here 99 mod 100 is 99 mod 100 only, and it is not any other value. So the correct option is option A. Next question, what does 13 mod 26 look using the quotient remainder theorem? Now here we can see that we have this number 13 is less than 126. So we can write 13 as only 126 into 0 plus 13. So this is the only way in which we can write this 13. And also 13 mod 126 is 13 itself. So the correct option is option A. Third question, minus 11 mod 7 is. So here when we divide minus 11 by 7, so here we get the remainder as 3. So minus 11 mod 7 is 3. The correct option is option B. Next question, 8 plus 10 in 12 hours clock is. So 8 plus 10 in 12 hours clock is nothing but it is 8 plus 10 mod 12. So this is 18 mod 12. 18 mod 12 is 6. So the correct option is option C, 6 o'clock. Next question, how much tea at rupees 4 per kg should be added to 15 kg of tea at rupees 10 per kg, so that the mixture be worth rupees 6.5 per kg. So this is the price of the cheaper ingredient and this is the price of the costlier or the dearer ingredient. This is the mean price. So using the cross, here we have the dearer ingredient and here we have the cheaper ingredient. So this is 10 and here we have 4. The mean price is 6.5. So here we have 10 minus 6.5 which is 3.5 and here 6.5 minus 4 is 2.5. So here it is asked how much tea at rupees 4 per kg. So how much tea of this cheaper quantity should be added to 15 kg of tea at rupees 10 per kg, so that the mixture is this much worth. So the required quantity is 3.5 upon 2.5 into 15. 3.5 upon 2.5 into 15. So this, when we simplify, we get this is equal to 21 kg. So the correct option is option B. The next question, how much water be mixed in 38 liters of milk worth rupees 5 per liter, so that the value of the mixture is rupees 3.8 per liter. So here we need to find the quantity of water that should be mixed with this 38 liter of milk which is worth 5 per liter, so that the value of the mixture is 3.8 rupees per liter. So this is the dearer ingredient and this is the mean price. The cost of water is 0. So here if we have the dearer ingredient here, the cheaper ingredient here, this is 5 or this is milk, and water comes at 0 cost. So here it is 0 and the mean price is 3.8. So here we have 5 minus 3.8, 1.2. Here 3.8 minus 0, it is 3.8. So the required quantity of water to be mixed is equal to 1.2 upon 3.8 into 38. So it is 1.2 upon 3.8 into 38. So these two will go 10 times. So the required quantity of water is 12 liters. So the correct option is option A. The next question. A boat can travel with speed of 13 km per hour. Find the time taken by the boat to go 60 km downstream if the speed of the stream is 4 km per hour. So here speed of boat is 13 and speed of stream is 4. So downstream speed will be the sum of these two. This is equal to 13 plus 4, it is 17 km per hour. And the distance is 68 km. So the time will be distance by speed. So it is 68 upon 17, or it is equal to 4 hours. So the correct option is option A. The next question, A and B enter into partnership with capital as 7:9. At the end of 8 months, A withdraws. If they receive the profits in the ratio 8:9, how long B's capital was used? So let us take the time duration of B's capital as X. So A's share is to B's share is here it is given at the end of 8 months A withdraws. So A's share will be 7 into 8 is to B's share will be 9 into X, and this is equal to 8:9. So this is what is given here, 8:9. So from here we have 7 into 8 upon 8 into X is equal to 8 by 9. Or we get X is equal to 7 months. So the correct option is option D, 7 months. The next question, which one of the following is not true about this matrix? A scalar matrix, B diagonal matrix. Here we can see this is a diagonal matrix because it has got elements only in the diagonal. And then C upper triangular matrix. So this is an upper triangular matrix. A lower triangular matrix, it is a lower triangular matrix since whereas it is not a scalar matrix. So this is not a scalar matrix. It is as which one of the following is not true about this matrix. So this matrix is not a scalar matrix. Next question, if A and B are two matrices such that A plus B and AB are both defined, then A and B are two matrices not necessarily of the same order. Then we have A and B are square matrices of same order. Then number of columns of A is equal to number of rows of B. Then D is A equal to B. So here it is said A and B are two matrices such that A plus B and AB are both defined. If A and B are two matrices not necessarily of same order, then A plus B will not be defined. Then coming to option C, number of columns of A is equal to number of rows of B. In this case, we can only perform A into B, whereas we cannot do A plus B. And then A equal to B also not necessary. So the only option left is B. A and B are square matrices of the same order. The next question, if A is a square matrix, then which of the following is not symmetric? Now we know if A is a square matrix, then we can represent A as a sum of symmetric and skew symmetric matrix plus half into A minus A transpose. So this is symmetric and this is skew symmetric. So here we can see A minus A transpose, it is not symmetric, it is skew symmetric. So among all these, if we take the whole transpose, again we will get this as symmetric. Again if we take this as whole transpose, again we will get this as symmetric. Only this one is skew symmetric. So the correct option is option D. Next question, find the value of x if determinant of this is equal to 3. So let us find this. 4x plus 8 minus 3x minus 15 equal to 3. So from this we have x is equal to 3 plus 7, which is 10. So the correct option is option D. Next question, apply Cramer's rule to solve the following equations. So here we have these three equations. We have to find x, y and z. So first let us find delta. Delta is the determinant of the coefficient matrix. 1, 3, 6, 3 minus 1, 4, 1 minus 4, 2. So expanding along R1, this is 1 into minus 2 plus 16 minus 3 into 6 minus 4 plus 6 into minus 12 plus 1. So this, when we simplify, we get this as equal to minus 58. Now let us find delta x. To find delta x, we have to remove the coefficients of x and substitute the constant terms here. So we have 2, 9, 7, 3 minus 1 minus 4, 6, 4, 2. Again expanding along R1, we have 2 into minus 2 plus 16 minus 3 into 18 minus 28 plus 6 into minus 36 plus 7. So this, when we simplify, we get this as minus 116. Next we have delta y. Delta y, in place of the coefficient of y, we need to have the constant terms 2, 9 and 7. So delta y is 1, 3, 1, 2, 9, 7, 6, 4, 2. Again expanding along R1, so it is 1 into 18 minus 28 minus 2 into 6 minus 4 plus 6 into 21 minus 9. So this on simplification we get it is equal to 58. Then delta z is equal to, in place of the coefficient of z we need to substitute the constant terms. So it is 1, 3, 1, 3 minus 1 minus 4 and 2, 9, 7. So this is equal to 1 into minus 7 plus 36 minus 3 into 21 minus 9 plus 2 into minus 12 plus 1. So this, when we simplify, we get the answer as minus 29. Now x is equal to delta x upon delta. So it is minus 116 upon minus 58. So it is 2. Y is delta y upon delta. It is 58 upon minus 58. So it is minus 1. And z is delta z upon delta. So it is minus 29 upon minus 58. So it is plus 0.5. So the correct option is option B. X is equal to 2, y equal to minus 1 and z equal to 0.5. The next question, if the matrix, this matrix is singular, lambda equal to. If this matrix is singular, it means the determinant of the matrix is 0, delta equal to 0. So let us find the determinant. Expanding along the first row, we get 1 into 40 minus 40 minus 3 into 20 minus 24 plus lambda plus 2 into 10 minus 12. This is equal to 0. So this implies 40 minus 40 is 0. So it is 12 minus 2 lambda minus 4 equal to 0. So this implies 2 lambda equal to 8 or lambda equal to 4. So the correct option is option D. The next question, what is the derivative of 7 into cube root of x minus 3 upon x raised to 4 plus 5x with respect to x? So let us take, let f of x is equal to 7 into cube root of x, I'm writing it as x raised to 1 by 3 minus 3 into x raised to minus 4 plus 5x. Now f dash of x is 7 into 1 by 3 into x raised to 1 by 3 minus 1 minus 3 into minus 4 into x raised to minus 4 minus 1 plus 5. So this is equal to 7 by 3 into x raised to minus 2 by 3, then plus 12 into x raised to minus 5 plus 5. So this is the derivative of this given function. So the correct option is option B. The next question, suppose you have the following utility function, find negative u double dash upon u dash. U of x is root x. So we need to find u double dash upon u dash. So first let us find u dash of x. U dash of x is 1 by 2 into x raised to half minus 1. So x raised to minus half. U double dash of x is 1 by 2 into minus 1 by 2 into x raised to minus half minus 1. So it is x raised to minus 3 by 2. Now negative u double dash of x upon u dash of x. This is equal to minus of minus 1 by 4 into x raised to minus 3 by 2 upon half into x raised to minus half. So this will be plus minus into minus plus. Here half, when it goes up it becomes 2 by 4. So it is 1 by 2 into x raised to minus 3 by 2 plus 1 by 2. Or it is equal to half into x raised to minus 1. So this is 1 by 2x. So the correct option is option A. Next question, d by dx of x raised to 6 upon x raised to 8 equal to. Now x raised to 6 upon x raised to 8 is nothing but 1 by x square, or it is x raised to minus 2. So this is equal to d by dx of x raised to minus 2. So d by dx of this will be d by dx of x raised to minus 2. So this is equal to minus 2 x raised to minus 3. So it is minus 2 upon x cube. So the correct option is option B. D by dx of x raised to 6 upon x raised to 8. This is equal to. Next question, if f is equal to g into mm upon r square, then df by dr equal to. Here all these are constants. It is a formula in physics. All these are constants. G is a constant, m and m are mass. We need to find df upon dr. So df upon dr is equal to g m into minus 2 into r raised to minus 2 minus 1 minus 3. So it is equal to minus 2 g m into m upon r cube. So the correct option is option A. Next question, find the second derivative of the following function. F of x is equal to 5x square into x plus 47. So first let us find f dash of x. F dash of x using the product rule, 10x into x plus 47 plus 5x square into 1. Then again f double dash of x will be 10 into x plus 47 then plus 10x into 1 plus 10x. So this is equal to, here there is one 10x plus 10x plus 10x, 30x plus 470. So the correct option is option B. Next question, evaluate y raised to 4. So for this function y raised to 4 plus 3xy cube plus 6x square y square minus 7y plus 8. Find dx by dy. So we have to find derivative of x with respect to y. So we have to differentiate this with respect to y. So differentiating with respect to y. We get 4y cube plus 3y cube dx by dy plus 9xy square plus 12xy square dx by dy plus 12x square y minus 7. This is equal to 0. This is y. So we have dx by dy into 3y cube plus 12xy square. This is equal to 7 minus 12x square y minus 9xy square minus 4y cube. So taking all these terms to the other side. So we get dx by dy is equal to 7 minus 12x square minus 9xy square minus 4y cube upon 3y cube plus 12xy square. So the correct option is option B. Next, section B. In this section, attempt any 16 questions out of questions 21 to 40. Each question is of 1 mark weightage. A lot has 10% defective items. 10 items are chosen randomly from this lot. The probability that exactly 2 of the chosen items are defective is. So we have the various items. So here it is given a lot has 10% defective items and 10 items are randomly chosen from this lot. We need to find the probability that exactly 2 of the chosen items are defective. So here this is a binomial distribution and we need to find the probability that 2 of the chosen items are defective. So the probability of success is probability of getting a defective item. So here n is equal to 10. P is 10%, which is 0.1, and Q is 1 minus P, it is 0.9. So probability of X is equal to 2 is asked. Now we know probability of R successes, it is given by NCR, P raised to R, Q raised to N minus R. So probability of X is equal to 2 is 10C2. 0.1 the whole raised to 2, 0.9 the whole raised to 10 minus 2, 8. So this is equal to 10 into 9 upon 2 into 1, 0.1 the whole square is 0.01 and 0.9 the whole raised to 8 is approximately 0.43. So this when we simplify, we get this as 0.1937. So the correct option is option B. The next question, for a given biased coin, the probability that the outcome of toss is a head is 0.4. This coin is tossed 1000 times. Let x denote the random variable whose value is the number of times head appeared in these 1000 tosses. The standard deviation of x is dash. So here it is a biased coin, and here probability of getting a head is given by 0.4. If it is unbiased, then probability of getting a head will be 0.5. Since this is 0.4, it is a biased coin. So here the probability of success is 0.4. The coin is tossed 1000 times. So here it is a binomial distribution with n is equal to 1000. Probability of getting a head is 0.4, p is 0.4, and q is 1 minus p, so it is 0.6. Here x denotes a random variable whose value is number of times head appeared. Now we need to find the standard deviation of x. We know that variance of a binomial distribution is given by npq. So the standard deviation is nothing but it is root of variance. So it is root of npq. So this is equal to root of 1000 into 0.4 into 0.6. So it is root of 240. So approximately root of 240 is equal to 15. So the correct option is option C. Next question, for a binomial variate x, if n equal to 4 and probability of x equal to 0 is 16 upon 81, then probability of x equal to 4 is. So here it is given x is a binomial variate and n is equal to 4. Probability of x is equal to 0 is given. So probability of x is equal to 0 is nothing but it is nc0. Then we have p raised to 0, q raised to n minus 0. 4 minus 0. 4c0 is 1 into p is 1. P raised to 0 is 1 into q raised to 4. This is equal to 16 upon 81. Or q raised to 4 is 16 is 2 raised to 4 and 81 is 3 raised to 4. From this we have q is equal to 2 by 3. If q is 2 by 3, then p is equal to 1 minus q. So it is 1 by 3. Now we have n is given 4. We got p and we got q. Probability of x is equal to 4 is 4c4. Then p raised to 4, 1 by 3 raised to 4. Then q raised to n minus 4, 4 minus 4. So it is 0. So this is equal to 1 by 3 raised to 4, or it is 1 by 81. So the correct option is option C, 1 upon 81. Next question, if the mean and variance of a binomial distribution are 4 and 3 respectively, then probability of getting exactly 7 successes is. Now we know the mean of the binomial distribution is given by np and the variance is given by npq. Mean is given as 4 and variance is given as 3. So when we divide 2 by 1, we get npq upon np is equal to 3 by 4. So from this we get q is equal to 3 by 4. Now we know what is p. P is 1 minus q, so it is 1 by 4. Now here it is as probability of getting exactly 7 successes. We need to know n also. So from 1, n by 4 equal to 4 implies n is 16. So probability of exactly 7 successes, it will be NCR, 16 C7, then 1 by 4 the whole raised to R, R is 7, then we have 3 by 4 the whole raised to n minus R, 16 minus 16 minus 7 is 9. So probability of x equal to 7 is 16c7 1 by 4 the whole raised to 7 into 3 by 4 the whole raised to 16 minus 7, which is 9. So the correct option is option A. Next question, how many outcomes can a Bernoulli trial have? 3, 2, 5 and 2 raised to 1. We have studied that Bernoulli trial will have only two outcomes, probability of success and probability of failure. So the answer is B2. Next question, the term Bernoulli trials is termed after which Swiss mathematician? Jacob Bernoulli, Albert Einstein, Johann Gutenberg, Archimedes. So this is obvious, option is A. Next question, for the following probability distribution x and p of x, expectation of x is equal to. Now we know expectation of x, it is equal to x into p of x. So it is minus 4 into 0.1 summation I is equal to 1 to n. Then plus minus 3 into 0.2 plus minus 2 into 0.3 plus minus 1 into 0.2 plus 0 into 0.2. So this is minus 0.4 minus 0.6 minus 0.6 minus 0.2. So this is minus 1.8. So this is expectation of x. Next question, for the following probability distribution, expectation of x square equal to. Now we know expectation of x square is summation I is equal to 1 to n x square p of x. So it will be 1 square into 1 by 10 plus 2 square into 1 by 5 plus 3 square into 3 by 10. So 9 into 3 by 10 plus then 4 square into 2 by 5. 16 into 2 by 5. So here the LCM is 10. So here we have 1 plus 8 plus 27 plus 64. So when we add all these we get 100 by 10. So it is equal to 10. So the correct option is option D. Next question, in a Poisson distribution, probability for x is equal to 0 is 10%. Find the mean given that log 10 to the base e equal to 2.3026. So here probability of x is equal to 0 is given by 10%, that is 0.1. Now probability of x is equal to 0, it is nothing but it is e raised to minus lambda raised to 0 upon 0 factorial. This is equal to 0.1. So from this we have e raised to minus lambda is 0.1, or we have e raised to lambda is 1 by 0.1. So it is 10. So if we take log on both sides, we get lambda is equal to log 10 to the base e. So log 10 to the base e, here it is given, it is 2.3026. So the mean lambda is 2.3026. So the correct option is option A. Next question, in normal distribution the highest value of ordinate occurs at. Now we know the graph under the normal distribution, it is a bell-shaped curve. So this is the highest point and it occurs at the mean. So this is the mean. So the highest value of ordinate occurs at A, mean. Next question, if the set C of 1, that is the equivalence class of 1, is defined as the set of all integers that are congruent to 1 modulo 3, then C of 1 is. Here the equivalence class of 1 which are congruent to 1 modulo 3 is nothing but the various integers which when divided by 3 will give the remainder as 1. So that is C of 1. So C of 1 will be the various integers when we divide by 3 will give the remainder 1 are 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, etc. And on the negative integer side minus 2, then minus 5, then minus 8 up to etc. So these are the various integers which will give remainder as 1 when divided by 3. So the correct option is option A. So this is the set equivalence class of 1 modulo 3. Next question, 5 cube mod 3 equal to. Now using the properties of congruence modulo, we know that 5 congruent to 2 mod 3. So this means 5 cube will be congruent to 2 cube mod 3. Now 2 cube mod 3 is nothing but it is 8 mod 3. Now when we divide 8 by 3 we get the remainder as 2. So 5 cube mod 3 is 2. So the correct option is option B. Next question. Rohan goes to Nainital in his vacation where he wants to do boating. He saw that a man can row 6 km per hour in still water. If the speed of the current is 2 km per hour, the man takes 4 hours more in upstream than downstream for the same distance. Then the distance is. So here the speed in still water is, speed of the man in still water is given x 6 km per hour. Then speed of the current is given y 2 km per hour. And here the man takes 4 hours more in the upstream than the downstream for the same distance. So the additional time t is given by 4 hours. So the distance, we know it can be calculated as t is equal to t into x square minus y square upon 2y. So this is how we can find the distance. So d is equal to 4 into 36 minus 4 upon 4. So this is equal to 32 km. So the correct option is option D. Next question. If A equal to arithmetic mean and G equal to geometric mean, then for two positive integers A and B, we know the arithmetic mean is given by A plus B by 2 and the geometric mean is given by root of AB. Now if we consider A minus G, so it is equal to A plus B by 2 minus root of AB, or it is A plus B minus 2 into root of AB upon 2. So this is equal to root A minus root B the whole square upon 2. Now this is greater than or equal to 0, which means A minus G is greater than or equal to 0 or A greater than or equal to G. So the correct option is option A. Next question, if x plus y plus z, y plus z equal to this matrix, then the value of x minus y plus z equal to. So we can compare the terms in both the matrices. So x plus y plus z equal to 9, x plus z equal to 5 and y plus z equal to 7. Now we can solve these three equations and find the required value. Now if we have 1 minus 2, we get y is equal to 9 minus 5, which is 4. So from 3 we have z is equal to 7 minus 4, which is 3, and from 2 we have x is equal to 5 minus 3, which is 2. So x minus y plus z will be 2 minus 4 plus 3. So it is equal to 1. So the correct option is option A. Next question, the division rule of differentiation for two functions is given by f of x upon g of x the whole dash equal to f dash of x minus g dash of x upon g of x the whole square. Statement 2, division rule of differentiation for two functions is given by f of x upon g of x is g of x into f dash of x minus g dash of x into f of x upon g of x the whole square. Here this is not true, only this is true. So the correct option is option B. Next question, if f of x is equal to 5x square into 4x minus 9 the whole cube, then f dash of x is equal to. Now this is easy. F dash of x is equal to 10x into 4x minus 9 the whole cube plus 5x square into 3 into 4x minus 9 the whole square into 4. Or this is equal to 10x into 4x minus 9 the whole cube. Here we have 5 into 3 15 into 4 60. So plus 60x square into 4x minus 9 the whole square. So the correct option is option A. Next question, the derivative of root of x squared plus 2 is. So let us take f of x is equal to root of x square plus 2. Now f dash of x will be 1 by 2 into x square plus 2 the whole raised to half minus 1, which is minus half, into chain rule. Then we differentiate this into 2x. So it is x upon root of x square plus 2. So the correct option is option C. The next question, a car hire firm has two cars which it hires out day by day. The number of demands for cars on each day is distributed as a Poisson distribution with mean 1.5. Then the probability of days when some demand is refused is given by. So here it is given a car hire firm. It has got only two cars. It hires out day by day. And the number of demands is distributed as Poisson distribution with mean 1.5. We need to find the probability of days when some demand is refused. So probability of days when some demand is refused is probability of days when there is no availability of cars. So it will be probability of x greater than 2. So it is equal to 1 minus probability of x less than or equal to 2. So we know probability of x is equal to k is e raised to minus lambda, lambda raised to k upon k factorial. So here 1 minus probability of x is equal to x less than or equal to 2 will be x is equal to 0 plus x is equal to 1 plus x is equal to 2. So it is 1 minus e raised to minus lambda, lambda raised to 0 by 0 factorial plus e raised to minus lambda, lambda raised to 1 by 1 factorial plus e raised to minus lambda, lambda square upon 2 factorial. So this is equal to 1 minus e raised to minus lambda into 1 plus lambda by 1 factorial plus lambda square by 2 factorial. So this option is not available in A, B and C. So the correct option is option D, none of these. Next question, in a binomial distribution if P equal to Q, then probability of X equal to X is. So here we have N and X. So here if P is equal to Q, now we know P plus Q equal to 1. So if P equal to Q, then we have P plus P equal to 1 or P equal to half and Q equal to half. Now probability of X is equal to X is NCX, then half raised to x and half raised to n minus x, or this is equal to NCX into 0.5 the whole raised to x plus n minus x, so it is n. So the correct option is option A. The next question in this section, section C, in this section attempt any 8 questions out of 10 questions. Each question is of 1 mark weightage. Questions 46 to 50 are based on a case study. 41st question, a lot of 100 watches is known to have 10 defective watches. If 8 watches are selected one by one with replacement at random, then the probability that there will be at least one defective is. So here a lot of 100 watches is known to have 10 defective watches. And if 8 watches are selected one by one with replacement at random. So here we can see that it is a binomial distribution. We need to find the probability that there will be at least one defective. So here n equal to 8, p equal to 10 by 100. So it is 1 by 10. And q will be equal to 9 by 10. Now probability that there will be at least one defective. So probability of x greater than or equal to 1. It is equal to 1 minus probability of x less than 1. Or it is equal to 1 minus probability of x is equal to 0. So it is 1 minus 8c0, then p raised to 0, then q raised to n minus 0. So this is equal to 1 minus 9 by 10 the whole raised to 8. So the correct option is option B. The next question, given that the scores of a set of candidates of an IQ test is normally distributed, if the IQ test has a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 10, then probability that the candidate who takes the test will score between 90 and 110 is 0.6826. Probability that the candidate who takes the test will score between 90 and 110 is 0.3174. So we need to find probability that candidate who takes this test will score between 90 and 110. So probability of 90 less than x less than 110. This is equal to probability of, so for x is equal to 90, the z score is 90 x minus mu by sigma. So it is 90 minus 100 upon 10. So it is minus 1. And for x is equal to 110, z is equal to 110 minus 100 upon 10. So it is 1. So probability of 90 less than x less than 10 will be probability of minus 1 less than z less than 1. So this is equal to probability of z less than 1 minus probability of z less than minus 1. So here probability of z less than 1 is 0.8413 minus probability of z less than minus 1 is 0.1587. So when we subtract these two, we get 0.6826. So this is the correct option. Second question. Next question, two farmers Ramakrishnan and Gurucharan Singh cultivate only 3 varieties of rice, namely Basmati, Permal and Nara. The sale in rupees of these varieties of rice by both the farmers in the month of September and October are given in the following matrices. September sales, October sales. If Ramakrishnan receives 2% profit on gross sales, compute his property for each variety sold in October. So here we have the sales given for September and October for two farmers. And now if Ramakrishnan receives 2% profit on gross sales, we need to compute his profit on each variety. sold in October. So we need to find 2% of this sales. So Ramakrishnan profit is given by it is equal to 2 by 100 into 5,000. Then here 2 by 100 into 10,000 and 2 by 100 into 6,000. So it is 100, 200 and 120. So the correct option is option A. Rupees 100, rupees 200 and rupees 120. The next question. Dinesh and Ravi are two friends. Dinesh started cotton industry whereas Ravi started textile industry. Suppose cotton industry is represented by P and textile industry by Q. And suppose the hypothetical economy with two industries P and Q, the interaction between P and Q is as shown in the following table. So here we have industry P, industry Q, demand and the total output. Here we have industry P and industry Q. So here we have the outputs and here we have the inputs. We are asked to find the input-output matrix. So the input-output matrix or the technology matrix is calculated as 60 by 200 and 100 by 200 will be in the first column. Then 64 by 160, 48 by 160 in the second column. So this we can simplify. So here 3 by 10 is 0.3, half is 0.5, 2 by 5 is 0.4 and 3 by 10 is 0.3. So the correct option is 0.3, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, A. So the correct option is option A. Next question, case study. Today in the class, Mr. Roy discussed about the weighted index number. He said weighted average of price relative method is commonly used method to construct consumer or wholesale price index when base and current prices of a number of items along with weights or quantities are given. So the weighted average of price relatives is given by P01 equal to summation P1 by P0 into 100 into the weight upon summation W, or P01 equal to summation IW upon summation W, where I is the price relative. This is the price relative. Then he takes an example to illustrate the above formula, taking 2015 as base year and with index number 100, the index number is in 2021 using weighted average price relative is 182 for the following data. So this is the data. The sum of the weights is 100. Now we have the questions. So here we have the commodities which are given and the price per unit in the base year and the current year. So this is the base year and this is the current year. The next question, find the price relative for commodity A. The price relative for commodity A will be price in the current year upon price in the base year into 100. So the price relative is P1 upon P0 into 100. So I is equal to P1 upon P0 into 100. So for commodity A, P1 is 24, P0 is 20. 24 upon 20 into 100. So it is 24 into 5. So it is 120. Then find the price relative for commodity C. So for commodity C, the price relative is price in the current year upon price in the base year into 100. So 30 by 5 into 100. So this is 600. Then price relative for commodity D. It is 40 upon 40 into 100. So it is 100. So it is option D. Next question, find the value of X. So here there is one clue which is given. The sum of the weights is 100. The sum of all these is 100. So 40 plus X plus 10 plus Y is 100. Or we have X plus Y will be 100 minus 50, which is 50, or Y is equal to 50 minus X. So using this, let us find the value of X. And in the question it is, the index is itself given. The weighted average price relative. This is given as 182. So using this information, let us find the value of X. So let us draw a table like this. Now these are the commodities and the price per unit in the base year P0 and in the current year P1. So for A it is 20, 10, 5 and 40. And in 2021 it is 24, 20, 30, 40. Price relative is given by P1 upon P0 into 100. The weight W is 40, X, 10 and 50 minus X. So this is the price relative I. Now P1 upon P0 into 100, 24 upon 20 into 100. So this is 120. Here 20 upon 10 into 100, so it is 200. 30 upon 5 into 100, 600. 40 upon 40 into 100, 100. So here let us find price relative into weight. So 120 into 40, 4800. This is 200x. This is 6000. And here 5000 minus 100x. So when we add all these, we get 15,800 plus 100x. Now this is given in the question, weighted average price relative. This is equal to 15,800 plus 100x divided by the total weight, which is 100. This is given as 182. So from this we get 100x is equal to 18,200 minus 15,800, or it is equal to 2,400. From this we get x is equal to 24. So x is equal to 24 means the correct option is option B. Now we need to find the value of y. We just now saw 50, y is equal to 50 minus x. So y is equal to 50 minus 24. So it is equal to 26. So the value of y is 26. Correct option is option B. I hope this video was useful for you. Thank you for watching. And all the best for your exams.